When we come back, we'll get to your calls and Latinas for Trump. Why isn't the press interviewing this group? We have a great show tonight. Is one of them. Also, Michelle Sanchez, just like AJ Delgado, by the way. They're outraged by the claims that Donald Trump, that he's not a candidate who cares about women or the Latino community. Madeline and Michelle are Cuban legal immigrants. They pursued the American dream. They're successful. They're making it happen. Madeline is a lawyer in Miami. Michelle does marketing for Turnsbury and owns her own marketing business. She used to work at Trump National Doral, and they're both outraged like all of us at the violence displayed last night by many waving their Mexican flags and screaming and physically assaulting Trump supporters. Welcome both of you to the program.
Thank you so much, Hannity. It's such a pleasure.
So, I got into this last night a little bit with Geraldo, and the fact that Donald Trump had the temerity and I think the courage to go after a judge who has an obvious conflict of interest and is a member of the La Raza lawyers group, and that we know that the law firm of Robbins Geller, appointed by the judge in this case to represent a plaintiff in the Trump University class action suit, had donated $2,700 to Hillary Clinton's campaign, and Robbins Geller paid the Clintons nearly $500,000 in a speech. So I think he's right to point out that this guy has a bias in this case and should have recused himself, but yet that is being portrayed by the media as somehow being anti-Hispanic or anti-Latino. What is your reaction, Madeline?
Sean, here's my reaction. The liberals in the media and D.C. should hang their heads in shame for their obsession with labeling groups of Americans and stereotyping them the way that they claim that the Republicans do. If you're Hispanic, you fit into a labeled box, and you are this, you want this, you need. The Republicans are the ones who see Americans in one category, American. So I would say that
what is your reaction, though, to the general consensus? Like, for example, I went down to the border, Madeline, and I went with Rick Perry, but I'd been down there 10, 11 times before, and I saw firsthand the drug warehouses. I saw firsthand gang members being arrested. I've seen a lot of things. I've seen the tunnels that were dug and human trafficking that goes on, et cetera, et cetera. When I was down with Rick Perry, he pointed out that in a 7-year period, that 655,000 crimes, including murder, including rape, were committed against Texans alone by illegal immigrants. So Donald Trump points out that this is happening. How does that get turned into a race issue or somehow anti-Hispanic issue when it's really the protection of the American people issue?
Exactly. It's not white versus brown. This is good versus bad, right versus wrong. Honor is colorblind. What we're seeing at the border, what we saw last night, was an un-American disgrace. I've never seen anything like it in this country in my entire life. And this is the same mindless mob that turned our homeland, once called the Pearl of the Caribbean, into the North Korea of the Caribbean. It's a distraction. That's what it is. Trying to marginalize people and categorize them.
Michelle, what did you think of what you saw last night and what we've seen at previous rallies?
What did I think? I mean, where do I even begin? It's absolute anarchy. It's chaos. It's absolutely outraging as far as I'm concerned. As a Hispanic, to see the treatment of even a fellow Hispanics being attacked, being punched, women getting eggs thrown at them. What happens? What about women's rights? I mean, it as far as I'm concerned, yesterday made no sense to me. I've been to rallies. I've seen the Trump supporters. They are quiet. They are respectful. They are excited with one another. I mean, there is just so much positivity. And as far as I'm concerned, this hatred is coming from one end.
Yeah. Oh, I got this idea. Now, do you think the poll numbers that show that Hillary has a majority of the Hispanic support, do you think they're accurate? I'll ask you both that question, Madeline, first.
Well, I think it's understating it. I think he might get at least 40%. I think George W. Bush got around that number. He might even break the record, because I think Hispanic citizens, who came here legally, they're the only ones who can vote. I think they see, hey, that's not me. That mob, the people ignoring our law, that's not me. I did it right. So why would they go along with her pandering? I mean, she and the Democrats, they're trying to tell Hispanics, well, this is you. This is what you want. You think this. And I think they're going to say, no, I'm a good person. I came here. I got a job. I supported my family. And you know what? Frankly, I think he's going to possibly get the highest percentage of the Hispanic vote that any Republican has ever gotten since Reagan.
Yeah. Michelle, do you agree with that?
I couldn't agree more. I mean, Malin said it absolutely perfectly. As far as I'm concerned, Hillary has been taking advantage of being an American socialite for many years. It's very difficult for me as a working Monday through Friday tax-paying citizen to relate with someone that's been taking advantage of the system for so long. So, I just couldn't agree more with what Malin said.
Well, you both live in Miami, where our friend AJ Delgado lives, and apparently this movement, Latinas and Latinos and Hispanics for Trump is growing every day. So I wish you all the best. Thank you all for being with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Sean, and you're a good man for reaching out to us, acknowledging the existence of conservative Hispanics. Thank you very much for that.
All right. Thank you so much. 800-941-SEAN is a toll-free telephone number if you want to be a part of the program. Marcus is in Cleveland, Ohio. Of course, we'll